Welcome to datascience.show, the podcast where data science meets executive leadership. We talk with top AI and analytics thought leaders about turning data into real business impact. If you're a C-level leader or data expert shaping the future, you're in the right place.
2 years ago, a business unit burned through nearly $500,000 on model experiments nobody deployed. That's not an engineering problem, it's a funding problem. I'm Mirko Peters. We make AI spending manageable so leaders get measurable value, not surprise bills.
If you lead the company, you've heard the same line. We need more capacity to innovate. That's useful until the invoices arrive and no one can explain the outcomes. Today, I'll give you a practical playbook for funding, charging, and optimizing AI so teams scale without burning the budget or killing innovation. Picture a composite executive, a CDO reporting to the CFO at a multi-billion-dollar firm, responsible for productized models, an R&D lab, and several regulated decision engines. Annual AI spend sits in the mid-seven figures, and the inbox questions never stop. Who pays? How do we measure ROI? How do we stop low-value experiments from consuming cloud and talent?
We kept asking who owns this and got silence. Silence is expensive.
Exactly. Silence is expensive. So let's cut through the noise with 3 practical moves: a simple cost taxonomy, staged budgeting that preserves experimentation, and straightforward stop-go rules tied to value per dollar.
First, change your mental model. Treat AI like an investment portfolio, not a utility bill. Ask 3 quick questions for every project. What's the outcome? What will it cost to run? And what value do we expect per dollar over a defined horizon? I recommend 12 months. Those 3 answers give you the basis for comparisons and prioritization.
Next, a lightweight cost taxonomy you can implement in hours, not months. I use 5 buckets: model development, experimentation, infrastructure, data, and people. Say the words out loud with me: development, experimentation, infra, data, people. Simple labels, big leverage.
Why these buckets? Because each one maps to different levers. If experimentation costs are exploding, you add guardrails. If inference spend is the problem, you tune models and pricing. If people costs dominate, you rethink roles or reuse work.
Let me be concrete. I advised a mid-sized bank where monthly experiment spend hit roughly $120,000. They had no caps. After introducing an experimentation budget, milestone gates, and small reproducibility requirements, experiment spend dropped to about $15,000 a month, and the team focused on higher probability bets.
That shift paid for itself in 3 months. Not because we stopped innovating, because we learned faster and invested in winners.
Right. Faster learning beats uncontrolled experimentation every time. Now, 3 budgeting patterns leaders actually use: a centralized pool, distributed team budgets, and internal chargeback. Each fits different maturity levels.
My staging recommendation: start with showback plus your taxonomy to build transparency. Pilot internal pricing for a few product teams. Move to chargeback only for stable production workloads where usage maps cleanly to cost and everyone understands the trade-offs. Now, 3 use cases and what to do in each. 1. R&D labs. Give them a protected pool for high-risk work, but cap spend per experiment and require milestone reviews. 2. Productized ML powering customers. Treat this like a product with internal pricing tied to inference and SLAs. 3. Regulated decision engines, conservative budgets, mandatory audit trails, and finance plus legal in the loop.
Let's drill into productized ML with a simple number example, so this stops being abstract. Imagine a model serving 10 million inferences a month at 0.0002 cents per inference. That's about $2,000 a month for raw inference cost. Add a 30% governance and monitoring surcharge, and you're at roughly $2,600 a month. Now the question for finance: what value does that $2,600 deliver? If the model drives $50,000 in incremental revenue a month, your value per dollar is about 19x. If it drives $5,000, that's under 2x. Which projects get more runway? You don't need perfect math. You need comparable metrics.
Putting a price on the marginal cost changed team behavior. When people saw the $2,600 figure, they optimized thresholds and batching and cut cost without harming accuracy.
Decision rules are next, the governance that actually prevents runaway spend. I suggest 3 stop-go rules: a value per dollar threshold tied to business metrics, an experimentation cap per project or team, and a reproducibility gate before production funding.
What does reproducibility mean here? It means a model and training pipeline that can be run in a controlled environment and yield repeatable results. If you can't reproduce an experiment in a sandbox, you shouldn't fund production rollout. That single rule cuts wasted work dramatically. Let's talk governance and incentives. Finance must be a partner, not a police force. Embed a finance liaison in your AI leadership forum, publish transparent dashboards by taxonomy, and run monthly reconciliations with data and product leads.
Use incentives that reward improvements in value per dollar, bonus pools, priority access to shared resources, and public recognition for teams that increase measurable impact while lowering cost.
KPIs should be dual track. Business KPIs measure outcomes, incremental revenue, cost avoidance, retention lift. Technical KPIs measure efficiency, cost per inference, utilization, average experiment cost, and time to reproducible result. Track both and review bi-weekly with finance and product owners.
Looking ahead, expect 2 enduring pressures: model-driven cost volatility and shifting vendor pricing. A model choice that's cheap today can become expensive next quarter when teams switch architectures or when vendors change rates.
Mitigations are straightforward but require discipline. Negotiate pricing where you can, maintain internal capability to reevaluate cost versus accuracy, and keep a small protected pool for experiments so innovation isn't killed by price changes. 2 actions you can start this week. 1. Run a 90-minute cost taxonomy workshop with finance, data, product, and engineering. Draft the 5 buckets, map current projects, and identify high-spend experiments. 2. Launch a 90-day internal pricing pilot for 1 productized model. Showback for 2 months. Introduce a simple internal price in month 3 and measure value per dollar and behavior change.
If you take away nothing else, remember this: money without measurement is a rumor. Build clear attribution, simple pricing, and rules that protect experimentation while forcing accountability. That's the difference between models and value. Quick checklist to drop into your next leadership meeting. Draft the cost taxonomy, pick 1 pilot for internal pricing, agree 3 stop-go rules, and assign a finance liaison. Do that, and you've moved from reactive cost conversations to proactive investment management.
If you found this episode valuable, subscribe and share it with your network. And let's connect on LinkedIn. I'm Mirko Peters. We'll be back with more conversations on how data science and AI create real business impact. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to datascience.show. If you found value in this episode, subscribe, share it with your network, and join us next time as we explore how data science drives smarter decisions and better business outcomes.